Hey, welcome to Camp and Cast. In today's video, we're gonna be doing a Rate the Bait series. Today, we're gonna be talking about the ChatterBait MiniMax. I've got two of these guys tied on, two different colors. We're gonna test these baits. I'm gonna go around the lake. We're gonna fish with the ChatterBait, and I'm gonna talk through my first impressions of this bait. Stay tuned to the end for the Rate the Bait scorecard. All right, first fish of the day on the ChatterBait. We've got a little guy here. That's a good sign. Did not take long. Well, first impressions, I like that you can kind of run this through just about anything. I mean, I'm running it through lily pads. There's definitely some grass down there. You just kind of pop it and it comes loose. I also like that I can see it. I'm not crazy about super bright colors, but one benefit to them is you can see that bait and you can see it when it disappears if something grabs it. Man, these things are skinny. Look at these things. Whew. Should be primetime ChatterBait stuff here. The bait is somewhat skippable. You wouldn't think it would be. Ought to be some fish. Yeah, this skips pretty good. There we go. Finally. All right, that's a little better fish. All right, these bass are very skinny. The fishing is kind of tough today, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of activity, but one thing I can say about this bait that I really like is you can vary the depth easily. You can kill it when the water is deeper. You can run it shallow if you want, and when they get it, man, they really get it. It's not a peck, leave it alone. When they eat it, they eat it. Had some camera malfunction, so I think I've missed a couple fish catches, but that's my third bass of the day on the ChatterBait. This is the first one on the green ChatterBait. I've been catching them on the white one, and I switched colors, something a little more natural. About time. It's a little bit better of a fish there. There we go, that's a little bit better. That's the best one of the day so far, and that is not saying much. But this lake is a primarily small fish lake, and but it's a great lake to test new baits because there's a big population of smaller, younger fish, and they're usually pretty eager to bite. So what I'm doing is just to get a sense of comparison, I want to throw what is probably the world's best bait on the same stretch that I've been throwing this on the same stretch that I've been throwing this ChatterBait, just to see, is it the bait or is it truly that the fish just aren't biting? That didn't take long. So that does tell me something. The conditions may not be that tough. It might not be a conditions thing, it might be a bait thing. Is the bait versatile? Yeah, in the sense that you can throw it just about anywhere. It's basically like four-wheel drive. Are they always gonna hit it? No, I don't think so. I think it's more of a situational bait and not something that you can just use to catch fish at all times. That was maybe my fourth cast with the Senko. I'm sure on certain conditions, certain days, when they're feeding aggressively, that ChatterBait MiniMax is probably a great bait. I think that kind of proves the point right there. Another bite. He didn't eat it, so I'm gonna throw it back in there. Another one. Okay. Did not expect that. Things are not looking great for the chatterbait. That's what did it right there. Wacky rig Cinco. So that's a good fish right there. Not a big giant monster by any stretch. This guy's been caught a couple times, it looks like. I'm gonna release him. And then we'll talk about what just happened. All right, let's talk about today's test. So for the first 4 hours of the day, I did nothing but throw chatterbaits. I threw a white ChatterBait MiniMax with a small fluke-like trailer. I did a similar trailer with the green pumpkin. And what I found was, while I was able to get bites on the ChatterBait MiniMax, as soon as I switched to what is probably the most productive bait of all time, the Cinco, in this case, it was a Berkeley General, I started getting bites immediately. So that tells me that had I been fishing with that wacky worm all day, I mean, I had 5 bites in 10, 15 minutes, and I had probably 5 bites on the chatterbait all day. So to be fair to the ChatterBait MiniMax, it's a really fun bait to fish with because it's an active bait, right? You're like searching with it. You can skip it under docks. You can vary the retrieve to make it change levels in the water column. It is a lot more fun to fish the chatterbait than it is the Cinco. The Cinco is obviously not the world's most exciting bait. So one thing I don't like about the chatterbait is that if they're not biting the chatterbait, you can't make them bite the chatterbait. It's one of those things where you've just got to know when to put it down and pick up something else. Had I not been shooting this video, I never would have fished that long with that bait. I would have switched it up and figured out a different pattern. What I really like about the chatterbait, it is pretty versatile in terms of where you can put it. You can swim it through grass, you can swim it through lily pads. Didn't get hung up on a single lily pad all day. You could skip it under docks. You could fish it relatively deep. It does a lot better shallow. It gets tricky when you're in 8 to 10 feet of water. The fall rate's not great. I'm sure if you used a heavier one, you could get it down there, but I found that with a 3/8 ounce ChatterBait MiniMax, it was best up shallow, up around cover. So who I think this bait's really great for is if you're like me, and I prefer, typically I'll fish more finesse style techniques. So I was really slow to adopt the chatterbait in my tackle box. I've bought a couple of them over the years and used them here and there. I'd cast it for 20 minutes, not catch anything, and put it down. But what I found is with the ChatterBait MiniMax, it's kind of the best of both worlds. It's not so big that it's intimidating for an angler like me, but it is a really great search bait. What I found with the big chatterbait is I had no confidence in it, so I didn't utilize it when it probably would have been a great bait to throw. But what I like about the ChatterBait MiniMax is that I can be a lot more confident because it does generate more bites than the big chatterbait. When you do get a bite, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of similar to fishing a crankbait, which is a bait that I have a ton of confidence in. Because it's so fun to fish, I'm gonna give it a higher score. But if I had to rank it out of 5 stars, I'd probably rank the ChatterBait MiniMax 3.5 out of 5 stars. With the Cinco being kind of the gold test or the litmus test. Speed worm you could put in that category where it just catches a lot of fish. It is enjoyable to fish. I'm definitely gonna continue to throw it. If you like this kind of content, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Give the video a like. I've got several videos up where I rank lakes and rivers here in the Central Florida area and just break down the body of water and give you an idea of what to expect before you head out there. If you've got an opinion on the ChatterBait MiniMax, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I try to answer every comment as they come in, but thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.